Happy Halloween, everyone. I'm so glad to have you here today, getting ready for the month of November. My name is Karen. I will be your facilitator tonight, and Maya's in the chat, helping any kind of issues that you may have. She's really good at the tech issues. I have to admit, when I'm stage managing, I'm not as good at that part. But yeah, she's there to say hello. And I know we're having a debate if Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween or a Christmas movie. I like someone splitting the difference for Thanksgiving because there's not that many Thanksgiving movies. Though I must admit, for Thanksgiving, I usually watch all of the Friends Thanksgiving episodes. So I saw this was one person's very first social. Welcome, welcome. Is there anybody else? I think it was Emily. Was it Emily who was her first social? Anybody else that this is their very first social? Oh, Capri. We're so glad to have you here today. Yay. Yeah. We love having you guys. Oh, Capi. Got it. Thank you. So those of you who are new, make sure that you set your chat to everyone. If you are responding, I can see that you are already there. So do know that some iPhones and iPads will revert to host and panelists, which means Maya and myself will see it, but we may not, the rest of everyone else may not see it. This is a cameras off event. And with our opening activity, I'm leaving Halloween behind and getting more snuggly. The journal prompt just doesn't seem to work with the Halloween theme, so I hope you're okay with that. I was going back and forth. So just some reminders of our community guidelines. Be kind and courteous to yourself as well as others. Sometimes journal prompts, not so much at a monthly setup, but it can get a little bit deep and it's okay, especially if maybe you have been doing the journal for a month or maybe a year and this month didn't go as well as other past months. And I want you to give yourself grace right now and just be okay of this is a fresh start and we're moving on and I'm using the parts that work for me. And if it doesn't work for me, that's okay. You never have to fill out every single page to be able to make this journal work for you. No promotions or spam, respect everyone's privacy, no hate speech or bullying. Limit repetitive product and accessory questions. Post like what kind of stickers and pins and such in Sonder Club. You'll get a plethora of suggestions from high end to low end and everything in between. Though I have to admit, I'm kind of a high end girl. I love to get my Tombow markers at Michael's and my Meg B stickers from Etsy. Redirect customer care inquiries to our team at hello@silkandsonder.com. Unfortunately, Maya and I do not work for headquarters. So if your journal's late or it came bent or something like that, we can't help you with that. But fortunately, they can. But remember, they are a Monday through Friday team. So if you email them on the weekends, it may take a couple of days for them to get back to you. And then finally, Sonder Socials are a tool to help elevate your emotional health through the power of community, but you are responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. At any point at this social or at another social, something is not working for you, you don't have to work on that journal prompt. You can always change it. You can sit in color. You can listen to the music. If you don't like the music, you can turn it down until you see us pop back on camera and then hear us talk again and play your own background music. This is time you set aside for yourself and make it work for you. However it is that works for you. This journal is not prescription. It is a creativity and productivity tool that you can change to meet you and your lifestyle. Now, I will say that this theme may be a little bit hard for some of you. I know it is a little bit hard for me, and I thought I was going to kind of repurpose it. But I was at a social maybe 2 weeks ago. I think I was hosting, and this person may actually be in our audience tonight. And she says that she is going to look back on nostalgia, not for her whole life, but a certain portion of her life. And so I think I might actually interpret this from when I got married on versus some of the trauma that I had between my teenage and young adult years, so that it can be something that I feel good about and can participate in, but not be really heart achy for me. So if you're struggling with that, you might want to consider that idea as well. If that doesn't work for you, it's totally fine to leave those journal prompts or change them. You can always pull some journal prompts out of the app instead. If you are brand new, you may not notice that there is a letter from our founder, Meha, at the beginning. And if you read through her letter, it says, "So this month, I encourage you to shift your perspective and dive into those very nostalgic memories, the moments that brought you pure bliss and excitement, the moments when we felt most connected to ourselves and others around us, the moments that made us feel confident and loved. What if we could get vulnerable with ourselves and reopen the treasure chest of memories? What if we saw those memories as clues to rediscover who we are, what matters to us, and what we might need to integrate back into our lives to re experience some of that joy? Go back to your past as a fascinated anthropologist, relive and relish, in some of those." So that's a very interesting idea of like thinking of yourself as an anthropologist and digging back through that past. And what is nostalgia? The sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past, typically for a period or place for happy personal associations. So, like I said, I'm picking a very happy time in my life that I will look back on through this journey this month. Our agenda, we're going to have an opening activity. This is an activity that is not found in your journal, so it can be done on a notes page in your journal, a page that you are repurposing, or maybe someplace like the scratch pad in your weekly spread. We'll also reflect upon October. We'll look into November, and then we'll set up our mood and habit trackers together. So our opening activity for tonight is building a Hugie rug, aka a cozy corner. So flip to a blank page, scratch pad, or your thoughts journal, etc. Imagine a Hugie hotspot in your home. Create a cozy corner, essentially a nook where you can curl up with a good book and a warm drink. Accessorize the space with a blanket and plenty of cushions. Draw your cozy corner to include elements that bring your Hugie into your life. Imagine creating the happiest, safe space you can dream of. So, some ideas for inspiration. You might include a fireplace. Now, I don't have a real fireplace, but I have a plug-in one that looks like a fireplace that has a little heater that my little chihuahua absolutely loves. Candles or other lighting. Maybe it's a soft lamp. Natural elements. Maybe you are bringing in some plants from the outdoors, or as we move into fall, maybe you're grabbing some of the pine cones and such. Foods and drinks to be served. And, I didn't think of it before, but a big old bowl of homemade mac and cheese might be absolutely beautiful. Smells. Maybe you have, I know that there's some people who love the Bath and Body Works I think it's falling leaves this time of year, or you're like me, I love in the winter, the pine scented Trader Joe's candles. What is it? Where are you going to sit? Are there windows, or can you see out the windows? What are you seeing? It doesn't have to be your house. This could be your dream place and location. Would you have books, magazines, and photo albums, clothing, blankets? What music is playing? Pillows? Who is with you? So this one is Jen O's, and I thought I would share it with you before I share mine. Now, Jen O is a much better artist than I am, so I chose not to draw. I chose to use bullet points. And if you are someone who does not enjoy drawing, you can follow suit. If you're someone who finds pleasure in drawing pictures and coloring them in, and it's a creative outlet for you, I encourage you to take that time. So for her taste is hot tea, cocoa or coffee, a bowl of chili or soup, any home cooking, bread, muffins, old-fashioned popcorn. I don't know what that was a glass of. I'm assuming it is a varietal of wine, knowing Jen O, but I'm not familiar with it. And lip balm. Kind of funny because I keep my lip balm with me almost everywhere I go. Her sound, instrumental music, piano, guitar, harp, maybe a rain or fire crackling, rain on the roof, voices of loved ones, smells, a candle or infuser, foods baking or simmering, laundry detergent, lotion, the little heads of our grandkids, library books. We're both teachers. Maya's a teacher too. We all love a smell of like a library. Touch, soft, cushy velvet chair, warm blankets, winter socks, warmth of teacup, a weight of a book, sweatpants, oversized sweater, hair is off face, Grand is snuggled into my side, crafting and games. Sight, indirect lighting, candles, fireplace, plants, photos, pages, favorite colors, clutter-free space, tidy surface movies. Just say no to cell phones, laptops, tablets, social media, endless to-dos, shopping for Hugie stuff, out to eat, clothing that is uncomfortable. Melissa, we only do mind maps on our weekly socials. This is a monthly social, so we do a different type of opening activity. She went way more in depth than I did. For me, I have to admit, I'm opening my Pilates studio, but we're not quite open yet. Long story there. Poor Maya's already had to hear it, so I won't bore you with the details. But I basically set this space up like this every morning when I get up to make my coffee. It's a little chilly in the mornings here in Northern California, so I put my little fireplace on. If Snickers is out of bed, I turn it has a heat area on it. I've been loving getting on YouTube and streaming it through my TV and hearing some music with like a fall setting. Today, I looked at, some beautiful pictures of falling leaves in New Hampshire. I like to light the candles first thing in the morning. I have no idea why there are fireworks going on behind me. That was weird. Okay. Don't know what happened there. I was on I was on a call yesterday and a thumbs up kept appearing. So there might be a glitch in the newest Zoom update. I light the candles. I make sure the blankets are out. And my throw pillows, I like to change the covers of my throw pillows for the seasons. Right now, there's like some, Halloween-y type things. And then tomorrow I'll pull out some Friends ones. I mentioned I like to watch those for Thanksgiving. So I'll get that going. Make sure my Kindle is nice and charged with Cozy Mysteries. I absolutely love it. I have a big, beautiful see-through mug that I like to make a London fog in. I use my milk frother and I really pull out my good Earl Grey that's not in a tea bag and steep it at the right temperature and everything. And then also having Snickers snuggling in my lap. I don't know, Robin, but I guess we'll find out together as we go on. Like, are there going to be fireworks? I don't know. Okay, so that is my space, my little cozy place. So I'm going to put the prompt back up and I will go between that slide and slide with inspiration. And I am going to go off camera and give you a little time to work. I think I think it is comforting things are kind of universal, Chris, for sure. Um, it is interesting, like thinking about in the summer, I prefer to hear the sounds of the beach, but in the winter, I prefer to hear the wind whip or the rain coming down or crackling fire. I wonder if that has to do with like what movies and TV always show us. Because I can tell you, as a girl from Texas, I didn't see snow, real snow, until I was married. So I wasn't like I was by this fire that was crackling all the time. So we are going to move into our monthly planner. The very first section is we are going to reflect on October. Now, they give you some categories, but you don't have to keep these categories. If those categories don't work for you, you can always put a sticker over it, cross it out, write a beautiful quote in it, whatever works for you. But the ones they give us are wins, challenges, favorite moments, and things that we want to start, stop, and continue. So here's some tips and tricks to start, things that are not being done, but you want to do. Things to begin doing to get better results, things worth trying or experimenting with for better results. So those are things that you can think about starting. Stop. Things that are not working or helping, things that impede or are not practical, things that are not delivering desired results, things you dislike, things that no longer serve you. Continue. Things that are working well, things you want to keep, things to continue to see if they are worthwhile, things you like or need. Our wins. Something that you did, something that made you smile, made you happy, an accomplishment. And guys, it doesn't need to be like, oh my gosh, I just, got my doctorate. It can be a very small win. Like, you know what? I made this like Trader Joe pumpkin bread. It's the first time I haven't totally burnt it. That counts too. The little things absolutely count as wins. Don't discount them. Celebrate them. Challenges. Something that didn't go right, something out of your control. Something out of your control. Sorry, I read that one a second time. That is me when all my reformers are not delivered correctly. I literally got a call right before this and we're missing parts. A stumbling block or a frustration, but it doesn't necessarily need to be for today. Think about October in general if there was a stumbling block for you. Now, if you've been doing this journal for a little bit and you did the weekly setups, you filled out your rosebud thorns. So feel free to go back and look at those in your your October journal. I can't believe we're in November already. And also go back to your phone. If you use your phone for a calendar, go ahead, take a look at it, look at your photos. And I like to look not just at my photos, but everything I took screenshots of. It sometimes reminds me of a quote that I really liked or something that I wanted to be able to remember. That's why I took a little screenshot of it. Okay, so here are some beautiful examples of what other people's have looked like. Mine never looked like this. And I'm okay with that. If you love to make gorgeous writing and it just brings you a lot of joy, that's awesome. I wish you so much love while you do that. If you're someone like me and it's like scribble scrabble, I wish you so much love in that. One's not better than the other. They're just different and it depends on your personality and what you really enjoy to do. So I'm going to give you some time. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Maya. She hit the button, says we would like you to unmute. I'm like, hold on, wait, what? Yeah, there we go. That's what I got when I go talking. Okay, now you can hear me. I want to say, thank you for sharing your truth, the good, the bad. I wish it was always rainbows and sunshine all the time for all of us. And life just isn't that way. But sometimes when we do that reflection, we come up with some ahas that can really help us move forward. And sometimes just the reflection of it is cathartic, even if it has those tears. Sometimes those tears need to be cried, at least for me. So we're going to be moving on to those intentions next. So once again, we got some categories here. You can keep these categories, change these categories, skip some categories, make this fit you. We have our spiritual health, personal life, physical health, key relationships, money management, and professional goals. Tips and tricks. If you like the theme, you can use the theme of nostalgia to set your intentions. If you don't, you don't have to. Focus on one area such as self-love, self-talk. Use the name of a song or a tune or scripture that inspires you. How do you want to feel this month in each area? And it might have a different vibe depending on if it's professional versus romantic versus fun. You can always use stickers, colors, images for each section. Or one thing you want to let go of, one thing you want to start doing. So here's what that page 9 looks like. Here are some wonderful examples. Incorporating art, space for reflection, change the intention categories to fit your life. Like I said, it doesn't have to be what they gave us. Here's someone who's song lyrics on the left-hand side, another version of art in the middle. Someone who just used very simple bullet points on the right-hand side. These are mine, and you can see May, June, September, and June. This was all throughout. It looked different. I found that I don't do well with the photos. I need to have some very specific things that I'm spelling out. But you may be someone who works really well being more general. That's up to you. Work with what works with you. That sounded redundant. Okay. I will finish. I will continue. Those are sentence starters that might appeal to you. Here's some other types of art. And here's an example of I want to do more of this and less of this. My spirit will persevere through times when I don't feel like praying. You'll see my body will, my mind, I will persevere. So she created some sentence stems that took ownership with that I statement. Here's someone who used some stickers that are absolutely gorgeous. And then over here, someone who used a different kind of sentence stem. I am grateful for, I intend on. Now, if you've come to socials before, you probably know that showing gratitude does scientifically make us happier. And if you are struggling right now, you might want to consider that. You might want to consider showing the gratitude for each of those areas. It may work for you, it may not, but I have tons of different examples that probably will. And I liked Maya's ideas of quotes from favorite authors. That might resonate. And Sarah's liking the do and let go. Yeah, any of these options, make it work for you. And like I said, if a category doesn't work, change it or leave it blank. This is your journal. No one's grading you. All right. We're here to support you in the chat. We'll be back in a few minutes. I have to say, our Sonder community creates some amazing examples that really speak to what it is that works for them. And I love being able to share those with you. And I love being able to see them in Sonder Club and taking screenshots to be able to share that with you. All right. We are moving on to our mood tracker. Okay, so why? Why do we track our moods? You can find trends on how you're feeling. You can notice things and make shifts like, oh, I didn't eat because I was intermittent fasting and I had a really bad day. Or I felt really anxious and I had 2 cups of coffee. So finding those trends can really help so that you can bring in tools into what works when positive moods show up for us. So like, oh, I went for a walk outside for 10 minutes during my lunch and I just noticed that my mood improved greatly. So I'm going to try to incorporate that as many times during the week as I can. So it's about trying to find trends. Now, you may not find trends and oh, sorry, going too fast. It's been a day, guys. It's been a day. You can choose 2 or 3 negative feelings, 1 neutral or 2 to 3 positive. Some people like to do that. Focus on perseverance for the month. That should have said nostalgia. Fill in every emotion that came up that day. Fill in whatever emotion was the strongest. You can use stickers, colored pencils, doodles, or a pen to create your key. If you're looking for some ideas of moods, this is a beautiful tool to be able to use. You work from the inside out. Let's say that you want to use joy, but joy doesn't feel right. So maybe you go to enthusiastic, but that's not quite right either. And you're like, oh, excited. That sounds right to me of how it is that I want to feel. I'll throw this back up while you guys are working. But let's say, like I was trying to go on earlier, and wow, this Apple thing is really funny that it's popping up the thumbs up. Ways to repurpose. You could do your daily affirmations, anxiety, depression, 1 to 6 on a certain scale, like angry, tired, joyous, whatever. And so this is what it looks like. Now, if you are new, sometimes they're circular, sometimes they are shaped in these like hexagonal shapes. It depends on the days of the month. I'm going to show you examples of both, but just know some months it looks one way, some months it looks another way, and it doesn't affect anything except for the shape you color in. So here are some people who used highlighter. They used different colors and highlighted the big feelings of the day. I love this. Someone who does suffer from sciatica, they've rated it on a scale to 1 to 12, 12 being miserable, 1 being, hey, I feel pretty good. Here's someone who's done some different feelings, creative, inspired, okay, and kind of gone with that. Here's someone who did a self-love tracker. Here's a kindness tracker of showing kindness to people in their lives. And here's someone who colored in the types of rest that they needed or what they did for themselves of the 7 types of rest. So physical, social, spiritual, mental, creative, and the last one. Self-love, kindness types of rest. Thank you. Now here's an example of Maya's. And she repurposed it to do a little bit of studying, some professional development, like webinars, TED Talks, and such. But she'll be the first to say that it was a lot of fun to create, but she didn't keep up with it. So if you have months like that, just know you're not alone, so do we. But if it works for you, great, steal it, use it. Here's someone who made little doodles of their activity, of like their journaling or time with family and friends, etc. Exercise, they listed the type of exercise they did that day. Here is another type of mood tracker: love, sentimental, joy, bliss, because synonyms. That feelings wheel will come back up after I go through the examples while you guys are working. And oh, Mel, I'm so glad that you're enjoying your Silk and Sonder stickers. And then that very last one should not be there yet. Sorry. So I'm going to scroll through these examples, but I'll leave the feelings wheel up for a good minute before we move on to give you time. If you have not done a mood tracker in a while, I do encourage you, if it feels right to you, to encourage it because the seasons are changing. And a lot of times, especially if you live in a place where there's not a lot of sunshine, you might find some of that seasonal depression kind of sink in. And so the sooner you recognize it and the sooner you can find things that can help, the better, right? Okay. Okay, we're going to be moving on to our very last section, and it's our habit tracker. And for those of you who are new, it definitely is one that people are like, why do we have it in the monthly and the weekly section? The intention is these are the things you want to do every day, while the one in the weekly section are something you might do 3 days a week or 1 day a week. Now, some people will take, and I've done this and it's been actually pretty helpful to me, and block out the weekends if those are weekday habits. So feel free to experiment and give yourself grace on those kinds of things. And I'll tell you a secret. I never fill out my journal on vacation. I just mark those sections off because I don't want to hold myself to habits during vacation. I just want to relax. No, if breaking the chain totally disrupts you and taking it on vacation really helps you to stay in the habit, please keep doing that. Just make sure that you know what works for you. So we can start new habits, but don't start 6 new habits, guys. That's just setting yourself up for failure. Like maybe one new habit. Um, Stop doing habits that don't serve us. So it could be things that you don't want to do, like maybe tons of time on social media or binge watching Netflix or drinking alcohol or eating chips every night, or we all have our vices, whatever it is that you are trying to stop. Or it can be habits that are bringing you value. Someone mentioned that they've been tracking their water intake, and it's been really great for them and holding them accountable. They're going to keep it on there. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes my habits don't change for years, sometimes months. Sometimes they change and I let it go for a little bit and I bring it back, and that's totally fine. No right or wrong way to do this. So you can use nostalgia as your focus. You can pick a theme like grounded, calm, joy, delight. You can continue habits from last month. You can find a balance of habits that you know you can do with ones that are going to be trickier. Think about your cozy corner from the opening activity. Are there any habits that might help you build this for a sense of Yugi? Like maybe you light that candle and have your little Kindle sitting there or whatever. And remember, you do not have to fill in every single line. So here's some examples. Here's a gorgeous mandala on the left-hand side. If you know me, that would completely and totally stress me out. But if you find it fun and it motivates you, do it. And you'll notice that their habits are AM and PM. So they're kind of setting up their morning and evening rituals there as well. This one is an intention tracker. And I like the way that they've marked with the colors, that way that they're only tracking 4 things. AM, PM. Oh, that's a mood tracker. Sorry, guys. Here's one where when they were sick, they marked out that they were sick. Look over on the left-hand side. I swear I deleted one of these this morning, but I'm telling you, it's been a day. Please forgive me. That they've listed out all the things that they're going to do in their routine, and they put affirmations around the edges. Tracking food, steps, reading a book. Here's another gorgeous mandala. And notice that they marked off their trip to Scotland, England, and they're not doing it at that point. Yeah, the hearts are really cute. And maybe that is something that I would actually keep up with as long as it's not color coded. I've learned I am not a color coded kind of person. I'm a grab whatever's next to me kind of person. Even if I have a cup of colored pens right next to me, I usually just grab the first one. So I'm the kind of person who picks one pen and I stick it in my spiral and I stay with that one the whole month. Now, if you are looking for some habits, here are some examples that might resonate for you. Please share in the chat if you are repurposing this, or if you have a new habit that you're trying out or one that you want to celebrate. Okay. Abigail, I have a sunrise clock too, and I love it. I have to admit though, it's a little hard to set. And so sometimes if I don't need to get up at 6 and I need to get up at 6:30, instead of changing it, I hit snooze 3 times. Not necessarily the best habit, but it's human, right? So those of you who are leaning into nostalgia, think about food, TV shows, movies, music, any of those things, games that you like to play. If that's something that sounds fun and interesting to explore during this month of November, or maybe a craft that you used to do as a kid, or a candy that you used to eat when you would go to the movies. Like for me, oh, I we went and saw the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and ate pizza, like very nostalgic. Absolutely love it. So we would love for you to share your planner with us. That's where we get our examples from. I am fried. I'm fried, guys. Okay, that's where we get our examples from. We would love to have your examples to be able to share in next month's social. If you love Silk and Saunders and want to refer a friend, here's that code. If you want to save some money because you know you were killing Silk and Saunders, you can upgrade to an annual subscription, and that's awesome. And then there is a new social feedback survey. So definitely fill it out. If there's something you want to see, go ahead and use that. You guys are so sweet. I will say before we log off for tonight, those of you who don't know, I am opening that Pilates studio. So this is my last social for a month. I don't know what my schedule is going to look like and how packed I'm going to be, but it's not goodbye, just see you later, because I don't want you not to have the best of me. And after today, it wasn't 100%. I gave you 97, but I want it every time I'm here with you to be able to give you 100%, but I'm not leaving this community. Thank you so much. I just look forward to seeing you again and interacting with you in Sonder Club over this next month, and happy Halloween.
Feeling like a drop in the ocean that don't nobody notice. Maybe it's all just in your head. Feeling like you're trapped in your own skin, and now your body's frozen. Broken down, you've got nothing left. When you're high on emotion and you're losing your focus, and you feel too exhausted to pray. Don't get lost in the moment or give up when you're closest. All you need is somebody to say it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. When you're down and you feel ashamed, it's okay not to be okay. Feeling like your life's an illusion, and lately you're secluded, thinking you'll never get your chance.